Welcome everyone. I'm Alice McNulty. I'm an artist, curator, and director of Ann Street Gallery for the last year. It's such a pleasure to have you here. What we're building week by week through this project, it's really this metaphor we've been using is building the ship as we sail it, which is not always sitting well with me as a metaphor, but it's just to say that we're making this monument together, and that is an exercise in trust, constant collaboration, making the most of the opportunities that present themselves, and letting the thing kind of evolve where we can't see quite where it's ending, and we're not controlling what that product is. We have so many people to welcome here today from our Safe Harbors residents upstairs. Ann Street Gallery is a program of Safe Harbors of the Hudson, which does supportive housing and the arts. And as Jean-Marc has pointed out, the pillars that are here supporting his installation are the same pillars that support those residents who live upstairs. I took that from you, I hope you don't mind.
One last thing for me to say.
And we have Jamar and Jimmy here on drums come down to support the poetry reading today. So we really appreciate that. Ann Street Gallery mission is to provide innovative exhibitions, events, and programs that seek to increase arts literacy and appreciation by engaging community like yourselves and promoting forward-thinking, socially and ecologically responsive, and underrepresented positions in contemporary practice. As I said, we're a program of Safe Harbors of the Hudson. Safe Harbors of the Hudson is a large-scale nonprofit redevelopment project with the mission of transforming lives and building community through housing and the arts. Today's event is made possible by a vision grant from Humanities New York. Humanities New York encourages critical thinking and cultural understanding in the public arena through grants, programs, networking, and advocacy. Humanities.ny.org to learn more. So thank you. I also just want to acknowledge, as we look always in this gallery at the histories of place and land, that we are on the land of the Montse, Lenape, and Mohican, and we take that history into account in our programming, the way we approach community and land stewardship, and think about how to steward this space as well. So, all right, welcome to Kate Himes, Poet Gold, and Edwin Torres, who Jean-Marc is going to introduce more fully. Thank you.
I am going to start with kind of a shout out to my mom. And the reason for this is because at one point I had the privilege of studying with a woman who at the time many considered the dame grande of African American poetry, Lucille Clifton. And she said to me, anytime I would read my mama's poems first. So that's what I'm going to do. And this is also kind of a shout out to the place where I'm from, which is New Orleans, Louisiana. And Mardi Gras is next week, February 13th. And this is a poem by Lucy Himes, Mardi Gras Indians. Mardi Gras day at the break of dawn, warriors pour onto the street in fabulous form. Spy boys run with flags held high, lead the band with lots of pride. Braves line the street dressed so pretty. Mardi Gras lasts only one day. What a pity. Chieftains dress fine and neat, feather crowns from head to feet. Satin, silk, and beads and bowl style. One glance will make you smile. Primitive beauty strikes a stance. Watch as they prepare for the Indian dance. Tambourines beat rhythm all the while. They sing and dance in second line style. Bowing, kneeling, leaping in the air. Chacamafina sung everywhere. Chanting loudly Indian ditties, they wind their way through the streets of the city. Children's eyes open wide when Mardi Gras Indians parade by. So as for my own journey into writing about people of African descent, it began with my work. Now I'll leave a copy of this here, with the Margaret Wade Lewis Center for Black History and Culture in New Paltz. And that began with the village of New Paltz saving an old derelict house that had been a student rental and everyone thought was an eyesore. And then when the village received that house, they did a bit of due diligence and found that the house was built by a 19th century black builder whose name was Jacob Wynkoop. And he built it for a woman who was a Civil War widow. Her name was Ann Oliver. Her husband was Richard Oliver, who served in the U.S. Colored Troops. This year's January-February issue of the Smithsonian Magazine, the front cover features this gentleman. This is the great-grandson of Richard Oliver. It is the Ann Oliver house that we are working to have restored and made the home of the Margaret Wade Lewis Center. But I want to start with a piece that I wrote for the commemoration of the burning of Kingston. It wasn't the first attempt to burn down Kingston, though. One of the earliest attempts to burn down Kingston was a plot planned by a group of enslaved Africans, and one of those enslaved Africans who had planned it, his name is York. So you're going to hear the name York occur in this poem as well. October 16, 1777. Then the enemy, under the command of General Henry Clinton and General Vaughan, came to Kingston and Esopus and burnt my dwelling house, barn, cider house, and another barn and wagon house at my late dwelling. And the enemy burnt all the houses, barns in the town, church and county house. Likewise laid everything in rubbish of ashes, fences and everything they came to. And they carried away with them one Negro man named Harry, two Negro wenches, Janie and Flora, and destroyed all my household goods and furniture and my library books. Journal of Colonel Abraham Hasbrook. Part 1, The Storm. No need to stir these dying coals to spark another day's cook fire. Nobody here but us, Harry, Janie, and me. They call me Flora. As soon as the alarm sounded, this whole town was in a tizzy. They carried off cattle, sheep, and hogs, loaded chickens and ducks into crates. The missus and master packed their best frocks, precious stones and gold pieces sewn into hems and waistbands, everything they carried off to safety. I lay beside these smoldering embers in dirt on the verge of a hard freeze. I keep my eyes shut against the first crack of dawn, the first blast of musket fire. I dream. I am a rush of storm waters. Once green leaves churn in my foam, I breach the banks as I run through the woods. My torrent wears down boulders and stones in my way. I rampage onward. One insignificant stream joins up with another and another. We become a raging cascade all the way down the Esopus, all the way down the Roundout, all the way down to the river, out to the sea and open waters that carry us home. The earth I lay upon shudders and rumbles. I feel the march of freedom on its way. This is the day I open my eyes to witness a sky aglow with deliverance. And this is 2, fire. My work is to keep the fires burning. I am the first line of defense against winter's march down from the mountains into the valley. The frost strips trees naked. I chop away limbs from trunks, set them aside for a season of seasoning, until ready to be hauled into a stone house, stacked in a corner waiting to be called into service. Old man Abram and his sons are keepers of the kindling, that spark that ignites a flame. They dole out dry twig by twig. Guess they afraid I might build a fire hot enough to chase them out of the house and into darkness. The old man and his sons sit as close to the heat as they can stand. The news coming up river makes them shiver. They talk as they always do, as if I was a log stepped in the corner without eyes to see or ears to hear. Unseen, I move among them, keeping their cider cups warm and full. I wait for the heat to rise in their bellies and set their tongues free. Their voices rise as logs flare and sparks fly up the chimney. A knot in the wood pops, shoots embers at their feet, and on to the parchment they hold so dear. They call it a declaration, swore upon it as though it was a holy book. They swore to die as free men, then live in servitude to a man far away across the sea. They call me, Harry, get my boys their guns. They're going off to fight for liberty. I am a man. I am the fire this time. Part 3. Oh yeah. They call me Janie. The ladies say I am their best girl. Men folk call me Winch. York's boy calls himself a Ganju. He says my true name is Oya. Our home, Guinea land, is far away across the sea where the kingdom streets are paved with gold. In the orchard where we meet, he tells me I am the brilliance of an October sunset. The sky glows the colors of flame in my presence. When I am with him, I am full of spirit and heat. I am not Vesker. I am not Winch. I am beloved. I am Oya, river goddess. I command lightning and wind and thunderbolts. We lay atop a golden and fiery bed. Watch stars shoot and streak across the blackness above our heads. Night is beautiful. Only pale ghosts are afraid of the darkness. Night covers us. We escape the glare, the white glare of day. We bare our souls and tell our truths. A Ganju tells me, I plan to run. The British say they will set free men who fight these would-be masters of the world. Don't cry. I will come back. When the alarm sounds, look for me. I will be at the head of the march, a North Star pointing the way to Kingston Town. And then finally, the last section, Pillar of Fire. This is our time. We own nothing except ourselves. Joining hands, we declare we are free. We open every door and window of the old stone house. It is the first day of a new year, a year of jubilee. Then we take our leave. We don't run. Flora walks tall. Oya dances. I march toward the sound of distant drums. It's like the good book says, all around us is burning, but we are not consumed. We do not look back. We go forward into darkness, led by a pillar of fire, guiding us to the promised land. Since John Marcus spent a good bit of time talking about gradual emancipation, I have a poem that also addresses a particular clause within the 1799 law. And I'm going to read from this that states what the historical piece is before I read the poem. The 1799 law also establishes systems enabling enslavers to legally abandon black infants to the local overseers of the poor, then accept them back as boarders and require their service as they grew, all while collecting a monthly stipend. Now, there's evidence that from historic Huguenot Street that this might have occurred to an infant named Charles. So this is Emancipation Blues for Charles. A woman wails blue. My baby's gone. He was stolen from me. My baby's gone. No matter he was born free. Free means worthless. Not worth a dime. Another mouth to feed, a body to clothe, with no return on the investment. My baby's gone. Snatched away when he turned one. Free or slave, he does not belong. He is not bound to me. My baby is gone. Unwanted and abandoned is the lie they tell. They make my boy freedom's pauper. Then he has worth. The state will pay a charitable bond for the care of my baby boy made poor, as if his mama doesn't care. A Southern trader in peculiar goods will pay even more for a baby so young, to steal him away to slavery land. I beat my breasts, squeeze and squeeze until they are dry. My baby boy's milk is his alone. No other babe will take his place at my tit. Salt stings my eyes. I cover myself in white ash. I make myself the color of death. I snip bitter herbs, stir them into the dinner pot. My baby's gone. He was stolen from me. My baby's gone, no matter he was born free. And then another image of a woman talking about her son. And in this case, it's Jacob Wynkoop. That's the individual who built the Ann Oliver House. Jacob Wynkoop is also known as never having been a slave. And because he was born in 1820, 9, so he was born outside all of the restrictions of gradual emancipation in New York State. And his mom, who is a woman I don't know a lot about, but what little I know about her, I have come to really admire and love this woman, is Jane Dale Wynkoop. This is Hallelujah. My baby boy born free. He's going to be his own man. I named him myself, called him Jacob. My boy going to be strong enough to do battle with an angel come down from God's heaven if need be, and still he'll keep climbing. He's going to own land like a man. He'll lay his head when and where he chooses to rest. He won't bow down. He won't step aside. Eye to eye, he'll walk this earth. He's going to own his labor. These little hands will never wield a sickle in a white man's wheat field. He'll use these hands to build his own. Sometimes pages get stuck together. Here we go. I'll teach him to build on solid rock. What he builds will stand 100 years or more. You'll see. You'll see. Okay, this one is about the first time I went inside the Ann Arbor house, and it was a preliminary visit by the architects who will be, well, actually they have at this point done a conditions assessment of the house so that we can move forward with the process of, and I shouldn't say restoration because it seems that preservation standards are very particular, so we can move forward with rehabilitation of the house. Your bones buried in the C-section of a rural cemetery, shrouded in layers of clay and green sod, we search for you. Your name appears on the roll of saints who have gone over yonder, without a marker or a memorial stone as a guide. We search for remains amid the pine bones of your house, costumed in pink asbestos shingles. Your house built by Jacob Wynkoop up on solid rock, following the good Lord's instruction to make it stand up through the storm, lightning strikes and whipping winds. The passage of time could not prevail against it. 162 years your house waits for us to unlock a past too long forsaken and forgotten. We enter your house, dust to dust everywhere. Maybe a speck of you is passing through. The architect talks of plaster and hand-hewn wood. A nail can tell the mechanicals of the making of a house. I search for the making of a life. The walls, the ceiling above our heads flake like well-made pastry dough. An apple pie baked to celebrate Jubilee, or maybe a Sunday school picnic on Pencil Hill Road. I sniff the air. Can the scent of cinnamon linger through all these years? Where can I find the spirit of this house made into a home for generations of Olivers and Freers? We step into the living room, marvel at the sight of a wooden herringbone floor. If I take off my shoes, stand with naked feet, precisely placed where you once stood, would I feel you through the soles of my feet? I have come to understand is that there are multiple ways of recording history and genealogy. There is a Western way of doing it, but there's also an African way of doing it. And the griot is the one who holds the communities and carries forward the community's history and genealogy in West African communities. So this poem is called We Be Griots. Columns of names scribbled in longhand. Every 10 years, a census count records a fragment of a composition without the measure of lives lived. Only the details, black or white, male or female, can read or write, farmer or laborer. A baseline of individual notes without notations to tie one note to another to compose a song, to tell our story. We be griots who sing full-throated. We sing notes between the lines and spaces. We call and listen for response. We sing vibrato to touch souls and hearts. We improvise until we feel the egun rise. We bend notes into shouts, we raise our hands and stir the air in the praise of goodness. We sing melody as we beat out rhythms. We make music of keep on keeping on, blues and hallelujahs. We tell stories hidden in history. We lift the veil. No one truly dies as long as their name is spoken. Say their names. Isabella Van Wagenen, that's the German truth. Jane Dale Wynkoop, Jacob Wynkoop, Diane Wynkoop, Richard Oliver, Ann Oliver. And now I invite you to call out the name of any ancestor who deserves to continue to have life, breathe life into them by saying their names. Thank you.
As Kate mentioned, of any art form, I think poetry is so connected to lineage and to our being and to our voice. And it's so necessary to understand that all those before us make us who we are now. I have 3 poems. The first is for my father, the second is for Gaza, and the third is for Newburgh Colored Cemetery. Father to father. It has been too long since I've seen my father's grave. I can remember the grass, its shape, the weeds spelling out how long it's been. I can smell the flowers left by my aunt, reminding me how she visits with a frequency any brother would cherish. The row of tombstones, the cars passing by, the umbrellas when I was little, the cake and coffee at Grandma's house afterwards. I can sense the desperation as I walk between the rows, on top of graves, searching for where I thought he was once again. Am I trying to live through you, imagining you as I could never be? Is this what I need to resolve before becoming a father? Before the legacy you've left me takes root? Let's have a talk, Pop. When you left, I barely had a grip on what you were, what I'd become. And I'm still that boy imagining himself a man. What is that supposed to be, Pops? What does it mean to say man? Is your legacy pride disguised as machismo, the conflict of the new age Puerto Rican? Why don't you let me find you? There are beautiful people who find themselves trapped, and no matter how often they're told how beautiful they are, never believe it. Until one day it happens, and that self-worth is what completes them. And I don't know if it's you or me that needs to be told, but one of us is beautiful. So just let me find you. I've met men who have shown me, heard their conversations, seen apparitions, witnessed the actions of what would form a father figure, put all that together in my head, and still I find myself tripping over something that used to be there. Let me find you. Maybe you're hiding. Maybe you do need to be told. Maybe what it comes down to is you and me talking man to man. Whatever that means to you. As I understand it. And tunnels lie beneath the hospital, beneath, and years attach within to what you don't, within, and innocence, the buried, has history, the buried, and no one is beneath, responsible, beneath, when everyone, the buried is. And there's a list like this in every home, where order follows solitude, and sense is not sensation, and mantra will search mantra, and chakra will trigger chakra, and surface will emerge as surface. And fault lines lie beneath the ones you see, beneath, where thinking lies, beneath, the sensory, beneath. And earth is a residue involving time as its own reliquary. And there are ways to consume what you don't understand, involving years where no one is responsible. And the buried are emblems with my name. And the buried are gates between compassion. And trigger points with a history are bloodlines awakened by noise, at home underground where the living have gone. And innocence is a word with a history, with an owner, and prophecy of a sine wave, and 1 second before the first, and years attached to what you don't. And glory is the higher a compromise, the holy, and chaos is a flower, a home beneath, the buried, the pit. And there are tunnels under the hospitals, as I understand it.
Coffin nail 8, whiteware 1, rusted metal objects 13, coffin wood present. Coffin nail 14, coffin tack 2, rusted metal objects 30, coffin wood present. Coffin nail 21, shell button 1, rusted metal objects 12, coffin wood present.
I was 21,
Rusted metal objects
2 children,
coffin
and
wood
9 years.
not present. Coffin
I was
nail
80 and 22 married
coffin
years in poverty.
21, nail 6.
I was 27, one child aged, and lived 10 years my senior.
Present.
I was a bad intemperate and very bad in reputation.
Coffin tack 25.
I was 28 and 18 and deserted and sworn and believed and taken.
1. Unidentified metal 1.
I was 10, 4, 7 and deserted.
Coffin
I was a child at a brown age, dependent for 2 years of the above
coffin
facts.
screws 1. Button 1.
I was 36 and married and 3 childs, and 15 and 8 lived with a husband.
Present. Coffin
I was employed and 24 and the youngest sick.
1. Coffin wood.
I was cold, shoveled, and drived a hack.
Coffin nail
24 and a wife, and pleurisy in the head, and 1 child assisted by 1 tap.
woven fabric 1. Coffin wood present.
I was 1 mile beyond hope, no years, no cause.
Coffin nail 2.
I was want of a morning, I was man to no owner, no purchase, no freedom.
1. Button 1.
I was 104, yet living all kinds of 77 on 2 tons of coal.
Coffin nail.
I was soot by the fairy gone wishes of mortals, 11 daughters supporting. I was living in what I was unable to visit.
1. Button 1.
I was no means lived near Sutton and Wand. I was married at 7, unable to 5. I was 4 years of applications, left home for never.
Present. Coffin
I was single and 60, my mother and her mother. I was 16 years married and 2 with no lives.
Coffin Wood. Present.
I was sick for 3 weeks. I was sworn and relieved and tempered and tamed, not able to luster to shine. I was made to be dyed by a winter.
1. Listed metal objects. 1.
I was father to nothing, support for no cause. I was seen to the sick for 1 year at 18, age 5 and 9 and 31 palsy.
Buttons. 10. Garment.
I was color in visit and 50 removed. I was color as long as I could.
Unidentified textile. 1.
I was foot frozen switch, kept from labor intemperate. Rheumatic in service, about 20, about 6, about season, about trees. I was 2 at my most about other.
1.
I was sworn and relieved, I was sworn, I was single and aged in vagrant povera. I was born married, previously born present consumption.
Coffin nail.
32, about 10, took 7, the altar at age 22, soon, the other, emaciated, very always, and poor.
Button. 3.
I was 23 and 2, and oldest and sick. I was sick, I was sick, I was sick, I was sick.
Butchered animal bone. 1.
20 at 19, a girl lives to habit to own of her residence, her reason, her rigor, her room.
1. Button. 1.
I was youngest, a father deserted by age. I was younger, a family not able to question.
46. Button.
In the town of Montgomery, in the town of Parameter, in the town of Volition, a seafaring man.
Unidentified textile. 1.
I was 20 yet 40 yet 60 yet some sort of fever.
Coffin nail. 10.
Yet married at 19, not able to bed. In Providence delivered a child on its visit. A married arrangement of slaughter at home.
Coffin tack. 30.
I was 5 without burden, 4 meant to 3. I assisted a season, receded to serve.
1. Ironstone.
I was married by 70 and 16 and 1, and of years I was lesser than. Child of no soul, made to apply as a lesser than.
Window glass.
I was want of a man made of treasures and temperate. I was previous and former and able and firm. I was taken and little, a widow was earned.
Coffin nail. 8. Button.
A seller's resistance, a house on a lot. I was wife and 2 children and paid for some medicine last week by the water.
Button. 1.
28 at 21, I was 4 and then 9 of 2 years and of 6, 40 years and no children.
Coffin nail. 26. Button.
I was 12 living 3 months in toads, frozen sage. I was 55 years, 22 and a barber.
Wood. 1.
Unable to labor, uncolored by daughter. I was single, previously 2, worked, visited and found intemperate.
Present. Coffin.
I was 31 towns of a grandchild's mistress. I was near the creek, open to poverty's drum.
Coffin wood.
I was simple in labor in 12, 17, 27. On the 20th, I was born of supply. I was poor of remember. I was bastard to 2, now pregnant by 1. I was not sworn, was a slave man dead to the years.
Present.
I was living for 1 year, my last, by a chargeable garret.
1.
About 6 in my pocket for winter's relent.
Coffin
I was wife of a cook at the village hall bake. I was wife with the look of a villager's hate.
Coffin wood. Present.
I was 20, consumption was salvage and temperate. A widower stroke her summer sun vagrant.
3. Button. 6.
Of 18 months leg of not child 45 was a mortgage called Mr. paid interest on bond.
Coffin.
10 years and beg him his grandfather John, and no name was no difference for the offer gone past.
Coffin nail.
I was forest and theft gave provisions to last. I was blacksmith by trade, 1 of 3 could not fall.
Strap.
Any town of assistants of age where they tell.
1. Listed metal object.
68, 19, 21 on the plains. At 14 I was sworn of a sister gone now.
Copper alloy fragment with attached wood.
To the amount of her husband, both tender and 6, now the cyst owned and left him the lot, bought twice owes, about 12 on the pike.
8. Straight pin.
I was application and rumor. I was 47, I was 45, I was 47, I was 45. I was sick, I should think so deranged, no account. Lately died and given, no previous I was.
Coffin wood. Not present. Coffin.
Before I was gone, I was good. I was bloom, I was stone, I was blood, I was gone, I was gone.
Coffin wood. Present. Coffin.
I was law on page 129 at the bottom.
Fastener.
I was many years turned by the labor I sought.
Unidentified textile.
I was no means of country, I was color and caught. I was long time deserted, some 3 weeks employed. I was wood for the burner. I was born of resistance. I was drowned this morning, interred by man.
unidentified
I
text.
was found of resistance, interred by a land, interred by indifference, interred by a mind. I was punished in 20. I was waiter and kind.
Unidentified woven fabric. 4. Coffin wood.
My locks sound nice. My locks sound nice. 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 She wears her locks like a lion's mane. Shoulders back, head lifted, pointed straight forward. An evolution is always taking place in her stride. They swing like a pendulum, so her thoughts are free-flowing. On occasion in elevators of corporate buildings, her cerebral state of mind is randomly interrupted by, "Excuse me, but I love your hair. How did you get it like that? May I touch? No, but thank you. But no, you cannot touch my hair." You see, these strands are sacred stories, like this one here, whose roots extend back to 1619, when the first documented slave ship landed on the shores of North America. I hear kings and queens who became cotton pickers singing Negro spirituals under the hot sun, while beads of sweat formed on their foreheads and glistened like diamonds to remind them of their royalty, majestic. And this one, oh, this one reps the lexicon of my people, with sayings like, "Gotta catch the kitchen in the back," "kinky roots and naps," "oh, you got snaps," the Juba dance and jive talk. We are vibrant and brilliant, and our hair is as diverse as the hues of our skin, from blue, black to high yellow and everything in between. All natural, all beautiful. We are the braids and the cornrows plaited together. We stay connected throughout the ghettos of the world. And this one, oh, this one is the scholar, sharing knowledge like water streaming from a faucet, letting us know that blacks were not the first to reside in the ghetto. We were preceded by the Jews, the Italians, the Asians, and the Irish, so we don't have to stay here if we don't choose to. The ghetto is a mentality. And this one, Malcolm, Martin, reminded me of the sacrifice they made to stand tall like a California redwood tree, strong, capable, able, conscious to understand that an injustice to one is an injustice to all. Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Madam C.J. Walker, Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, Deborah Lee, Oprah Winfrey, Cicely Tyson, Whitney Houston, Maya Angelou, Angela Davis, Queen Latifah, Shirley Chisholm, the first black female congresswoman, Shirley Chisholm. Trailblazers, trailblazers. Oh, wait a minute. I have one more. This little one. This little one right here.
That's you.
This is the future. Today's urban youth. This is hip hop, jazz, the spoken word, the poet, the griot, the student, the doctor, the CEO, the nonprofit worker, the lawyer, the community worker, the volunteer, the entrepreneur, the nurse, the athlete, the blue collar worker, the minister, the homosexual, the heterosexual, the lesbian, the transgender, the bisexual, the mulatto, el moreno, the disabled, the homeless, the caregivers who envelop our spirit in a warm blanket and rock it like a baby in a cradle, singing to us sweet lullabies and sharing their stories in order to teach us how to create our own stories. This is my community. So no, you cannot touch my hair. You see, my kinky roots are like this microphone, converting the voices in my head into an energy which is then amplified, allowing my ancestors' stories to stay present. That's why I keep my locks hanging over my ears, so they will always know that I am listening. My locks sound nice. My locks sound nice. nice, nice. My locks sound nice. Thank you. These, let me see, make sure. These next two pieces were commissioned pieces by the Kelly Miller Smith Foundation, located in Nashville, Tennessee. And the most recent one was based on the critical vote theory, a symposium that they were doing. And the next one I'll read will be directly about Dr. Kelly Miller Smith, Pastor Kelly Miller Smith, who it was his centennial birthday last year. He's no longer with us, though, 2 years ago. America, where are we now? There is nothing civil in war. The non-evolved filled with fright, flight from truth, fleeing souls tormented by their own lies, lies that become projectiles landing, exploding on others' human rights, stifling life. America, where are we now? Will the annals of the 21st century tell the story of the precipice where we now stand, choosing between echoes of a dark past, circa 1870, poll taxes, literacy testing, Jim Crow, or building a just future, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, America, where are we now? Ancestors of yours and mine who laid their lives on the line, long waits through time, footsteps and strides, so you and I can sing protest songs, melodies that become poelities like Woody Guthrie's This Land Is Your Land, Aretha's Respect, Marley's Get Up, Stand Up. America, where are we now? We should not shut up, we should not shut up, we should not shut up, but use our voice instead to wake the sleeping souls of those who have grown weary and pulled down their blinds, permitting no light to seep in. It is for them we speak, we march, we cry, we laugh, we dance, we walk lockstep with fists up high. It is for them, the poor, white, miseducated who's been spoon-fed lies. It is for them, generations born into a mental captivity of red lines. It is for them, the feet still walking bootless without bootstraps to lift themselves up. Hear their sighs. It is for them we vote without their full understanding of why. It is for them we will not allow the truth of our great American story to be denied. America, where are we now? We exist together in this paradigm, twisted and intertwined, roots connected, not one better than the other, woman, man, child, black, white, bronze, yellow, brown. So you may pass laws to take control of our bodies. Your bans will cement our bonds, bringing us together as women, and we will not go away, not become your handmaiden to do with us what you please, to treat us like we no longer matter. You may pass laws which attempt to oppress our right to vote. We will not go away. We will walk into the soles of our shoes and no more, our feet bare on this shared earth. Then we will walk some more, carrying those who may have tired. You really have no clue how resilient we are. You may pass laws to ban books and promote ignorance, but children always find their way to the truth through music, through art, through poetry. America, where are we now? My vote is for democracy, the right to choose and be heard. My vote is for the love that does not prop up the voices of Jews will not replace us. My vote is for the hope that the replacement fears don't reign in a land once built on the promise that all people are free. There is nothing civil in war. My vote is for our humanity. America, where are we now? This is the initial poem I wrote for the Kelly Miller Smith Foundation when they were celebrating their father's, the pastor's 100th year. And Pastor Smith did great work alongside Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King actually had credited him for designing the template for the sit-ins. So, We Grow, it's entitled. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? We grow. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? We grow. Snatched from our motherland, brought to a strange land, 1619 it all began. The colonization of the African, the black man, our native tongue we would lose and no longer understand. Humans as a commodity, the white man descends into immorality. We be in the Americas now, but we be not free. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? We grow. Through chains, shackles, whips, the Middle Passage slave ships, we unearth our resilience. Stonewall Rebellion 1739 to Nat Turner fighting for our peace of mind. Seeds planted by the ancient griots and tribal leaders, pastors, preachers, and teachers trying their best to lead us so no one can beat us. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? We grow. 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation, moving us from agriculture to the industrialization, and as a byproduct, attempt to save the soul of the nation. I declare the Confederacy falls down, America takes ground, black freemen walk around the town, and the birth of a nation becomes renowned. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? We grow. 1920 in the Mississippi Bayou, a child was born, who later set on a journey to fulfill his heart's song. Planting new roots in Tennessee, he felt a calling to stand up for the betterment of the we. Kelly Miller Smith. You may not know his name, but like Martin Malcolm Huey, he was doing the good work just the same. Breaking down walls in Nashville, he stood for change. Forwarding segregation to integration and education was his formation. And he never asked for fame. No, he never asked for fame. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? We grow. Now today, 21st century prison industrial complex, black Americans are on the chopping block, and in the streets, black and brown boys and girls plot and drop. But the first black president brought us hope. Wish my daddy was alive to see. Though he may have thought it was a joke, it was real. Obama made us feel like we are somebody, we can be somebody. Harriet Tubman might be going on the $20 bill, and Vice President Kamala Harris is now in the White House from Capitol Hill. Yet we all need to be reminded that black and brown lives matter still. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? We grow. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? We grow. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? We grow. This one was written to honor my grandmother and her spirit. And everything that she represented, all the goodness, everything that she went through in her life. Yeah. And those wonderful fried apples and sweet rolls. I used to watch her make. Still haven't mastered the sweet roll. But I am the one that holds the fried apples in our family. Remnants. The cooler months always remind me of grandmother. Her hugs seemed warmer in the fall and winter, warmer than hot cocoa. Grandmother's complexion was very fair. Grandpa said never call grandma white. Her grandparents were Blackfoot and English. I believe her grandpa was tall, slim, and white like grandmother. Grandmother shared with me stories about growing up with her cousins, who were a slight shade darker, and how they could not eat together in a diner, and Grandma would get mad and then the white people would call her nigger lover. When Grandma told me the story, I could see in her eyes that she was still incensed by it all. Tucked in the corner of the attic, I found Grandmother's old cast iron frying pan. It was in a box labeled Grandma's Things. In the air, I still smell the sweetness of her sauteed apples and hear her humming over slab bacon sizzling in the pan. I remember when Grandma would ask me to pass her the frying pan. It was like trying to pick up a set of bricks. Grandma said, anybody come in the house that don't belong, hit her with that frying pan, and that will stop her. Whenever she told me that, I would laugh. I sifted through the box to see if Grandma's whisk was there too. Grandma swore by her whisk. Said the whisk made the eggs special. Grandmother made beating eggs sound like your favorite music playing. At the bottom of the box, there it was, with a little rust at the tip. I brought both the cast iron frying pan and her whisk from the attic to the kitchen. Placed the frying pan on the stove, set 2 eggs in a bowl, and placed Grandmother's whisk next to it. I looked at them for a while. I guess the way winter sees the colorful leaves left over from the fall. Remnants of a time past. Thank you. For my last piece, I'm going to elicit your beautiful voices. And this is called Rise Up, inspired from your great work, Jean-Marc, From the Ground Up. Now, I'm trying to remember the key because I wrote this 1 o'clock this morning. It's an unfinished piece, it's a work in progress, but I felt compelled to share it. From the ground up, from the ground up, from the ground up. Okay, so your cue is going to be hey, right? You'll hear me say, rise up. Wait, I'm calling you, rise up, hey. From the ground up. Rise up, hey. From the ground up. Whoa, you guys are good, okay? All right, here we go. And we're gonna have Jimmy and Jamar, right? Jamar L. All right. Rise up, hey. From the ground up. Rise up, hey. From the ground up. Rise up, hey. From the ground up. From the ground up, from the ground up, rise up. I'm calling you to rise up. You that lay beneath the sound of leather soles shuffling, heels clickety-clacking. You that lay beneath the unknown spaces, places, names long gone, unrecognized. I'm calling you. Your shattered bones, your songs and sweet lullabies for your children's children's children. This may be your sweet lullaby, imported from, born in, sold to, servitude, own a home, on a lot, maybe here in this spot, Robinson, Broadway, America's Market Street of slaves, paupers and the infirm. Did you come seeking alms with outreach palms, a casting cast, participants in a hierarchy to sustain poverty? I'm calling you to rise up, hey. From the ground up. Rise up, hey. From the ground up. I hear the whispers of your voices echo as we walk through the halls of justice, walls that are held up by just us, a foundation cemented in a passage of time. Rewind. There would be no America if we did not exist, if you did not exist. The African, the black man, the black woman, the black boy, the black girl, the black person, the black, the black, the black. I hear the weeps, the sorrows, the joys through your excavated bones. I want to know your stories. So I'm calling you, rise up, hey. From the ground up. Rise up, hey. From the ground up. I'm calling you to rise up, hey. From the ground up. Rise up, hey. From the ground up. Thank you so much.
Thank